12 years old, no gold, no power, just one question that changed an entire kingdom.
To understand how a boy with nothing changed everything, we must go back to the day his mother cried.
In a small village at the edge of a great kingdom.
And in one small cottage with a thatched roof and a warm fire, a boy named Jack was just waking up. Jack rose every morning with the sun, ready to think about the world. He liked the quiet time before the world woke up. He liked to think. He shared a simple meal with his mother every morning. And on this morning he could see Piv. She was very afraid. He worked hard every day to help his mother and his village. And he was always listening.
But on this morning, the older men of the village were whispering. And whispers in a kingdom are never a good sign.
Jack heard everything. He always did. And he could feel that something was about to change. Jack did not yet know it. But by sunset that very day, his world would change forever.
Because on the road from the castle, a messenger was already coming.
It was a quiet morning when the king's messenger came riding into the village. The villagers came from every cottage, silent and afraid, knowing the king never sent good news.
He unrolled the king's scroll and read the words that froze every heart in the village.
Half the harvest. Half of everything that stood between the village and a hungry winter. For a long moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Even the wind held its breath. The messenger rolled up his scroll, turned her horse, and rode away howled, leaving the village with nothing but fear.
Then the panic came. If they gave half the harvest main, the village would starve!
But Jack did not panic. While everyone moved, Jack stood still. While everyone cried out, Jack was thinking.
That evening, Jack came home to find his mother crying at the table. The fire was low. The bowl was empty. Jack said nothing for a long time. He just watched the fire die, and he thought. And in that quiet moment by the fire pie, Jack decided to do something nobody in the whole kingdom had dared. Before the sun rose, Jack moved through the quiet cottage. His mind was made up. His mother slept. Jack covered her shoulder gently. He did not wake her.
He looked back once at his home. Then he turned and stepped onto the road.
The village was still asleep. Only Jack walked the empty road at dawn. The sun rose behind him. The road ahead was long and bright. He crossed a small wooden bridge. The water below sparkled in the morning sun. Then he stopped. There it was, the castle of the king who had taken everything. His feet grew tired. His tunic gathered dust. But Jack did not slow down. He stopped to drink at a stream. Then he stood up and walked on. The castle grew bigger and bigger, and Jack grew smaller in its shadow. And then sane, Jack stood at the gates of gold, small, but not afraid.
2 armored guards looked down at the small boy at the gate.
Jack stood still. His feet were tired, but his eyes were not afraid.
One of the guards leaned down. He demanded to know the boy's business. "State your business!"
I have come to speak with the king. Please tell him I am here.
The guards laughed. One waved his hand to send the boy away.
Tell the king I bring something worth more than gold. He must hear me before sunset.
The smile faded from the guard's face. Something in the boy's voice was strong. One guard turned and walked through the gates, inside, toward the king. Jack waited. The wind moved his hair. He did not move at all. 20 minutes later, the guard came back, and what he said next surprised everyone.
The king will see you. Come inside, young man.
The palace doors swung open. Jack stepped inside the kingdom's great hall. He walked the long marble hallway. The ceiling was higher than the village church. Great paintings of battles hung on the walls. Jack saw them, saw everything. Silver-armored guards lined the hall. Jack walked between them without fear. 2 great oak doors opened before him. The throne room waited inside.
There he was, King Daren, sitting on the throne, watching the small boy come.
Jack walked down the long red carpet, toward the king, step by step.
The king watched him come, tired, heavy, like a man carrying stones.
The king's advisors looked at each other. They had never seen this before.
Jack stopped at the steps of the throne. The room held its breath.
You bring me something worth more than gold. Show it to me, young boy.
Jack reached into the sack. What he pulled out would change the kingdom. His hand came out of the sack. It was empty, completely empty. Jack held his empty hand out. The king stared. The advisors stared too.
The advisors gasped. A village boy had brought the king empty hands.
Your hand is empty, boy. Explain yourself. What gift could this be?
I bring a question, Your Majesty. Just one question. And you know the answer.
The king leaned forward on his throne. The room grew very quiet. Ask your question, boy. I am listening.
Jack took a small breath. Then he looked the king straight in the eyes.
When you were a boy, Your Majesty, what did you want to be remembered for?
The king opened his mouth, then closed it. His eyes went very far away.
And in that one impossible moment, Pody, King Daren began to remember. Things stirred inside the king. A memory, long forgotten, now waking. When he was small, Daren sat at his father's knee and asked one question. A great king is not remembered for what he takes, but for what he builds. Back in the throne room, a single tear slipped down the king's cheek. And then Veem, the throne began to glow, softly, warmly, almost like breathing.
His crown began to glow. Every gem awoke with warm, golden light. The glow grew brighter. The whole throne shone with the king's own light. The advisors stared. They had never seen anything like this. Never. Jack watched it all. He was not afraid. He simply watched and waited. The king looked at his own hands, as if seeing them for the very first time.
The king looked at Jack. His tired eyes were tired no more. The bright glow faded. But something inside the king had changed forever. "How old are you, boy? And how did you come here?"
I am 12, Your Majesty. I walked here alone. My mother was crying.
The new king lifted his hand. He waved Jack closer to the throne.
Jack sat on the step. The king bent close to listen.
And listened.
They talked for hours about the villages, the harvest, the families he had hurt.
The king asked about the rivers, the fields, the wells. He wanted to know.
Jack told the king about real families, real names, real hungry children.
The king picked up his quill. He began to write a new decree. The afternoon turned to evening. The golden light grew long across the floor. At last, Jack stood up. His sack was still empty. He could go home.
"Boy, you brought me something worth more than gold. Now I believe you."
1 week later, the messenger came back with a very different scroll.
The same messenger, the same horse, the same scroll, but not the same news.
The villagers came again, hands shaking, hearts heavy, bracing for more bad news. Mary moved through the crowd. She found her son. She held his shoulder. The messenger unrolled the new scroll. The whole village held its breath.
He began to read, and what he read was nothing like before. The harvest tax was cancelled. Every word a small miracle on parchment.
3 new wells, free seed for every family. The villagers did not breathe.
The square exploded. Cheers, hugs, tears. Old men threw hats in the air.
Mary and Jack stood at the edge, watching, together, saying nothing at first.
How did you know, my Jack? How did you know he would listen?
I did not know, Mother. But silence changes nothing. A small chance was enough.
And so the whole kingdom turned to gold beneath the setting sun.
But our story is not yet over. Come back.
The great old story tree breathed a long, slow, satisfied sigh.
Jack, you did not have a sword. You did not have gold. You did not have power. But what you had was harder to find and harder to take. You had courage.
Remember the small boy on the long dawn road, alone.
Remember the empty hand held out to the king, steady, honest.
Greed is forgetting. Courage is remembering. And one honest question can move the whole world.
Night came to the story hollow. The stars came out. The world was quiet.
Young friends, you are never too small. One honest question can change the world.
The fireflies came home. The story hollow rested. All was peaceful and safe.
Thank you for joining us at the Story Hollow tonight. Sleep well, young friends.
Subscribe and join us next time at the Story Hollow.
Good night, young friends. The end.